But don't take my word for it. Check out Daria. It'll make your family and friends look good.
Wednesdays at 11:30.
Hey, can you tell that this wasn't originally supposed to be a Timothy reviews vid? I think for the first time in forever, I took a nearly completed script and deleted the whole thing. This show kind of deserved more than a, hey guys, this is a good show, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I lost my voice after recording that, by the way. Anyways, I'm sure you have questions as to why I named the video this, and why I made this tweet a while back. Well, I'll gladly explain why. But first, I have a new background being worked on by the one and only. No one else is allowed to commission them but me. So, Daria, what made my depressed ass go, I should watch this show? I remember seeing an acapella version of the theme song on YouTube and going, I should watch that. Daria premiered in 1997 on MTV and was received pretty well by critics and audiences. I'm not going to bore y'all on the stuff y'all probably already know, like the fact that Daria originated from Beavis and Butthead, so we're just going to get into the show. You guys may have questions and I hopefully got the answers to them. So, let's find out how Daria got me through a tough time.
Me with my best friend Jane, smiling.
Daria, coming soon on MTV.
Season 1 was pretty solid, to be honest. I think the first episode of the series does a great job introducing the Morgendorfers. Daria is a great protagonist. She's antisocial, she has this I don't give a fuck personality, and she doesn't mind speaking on how she feels. She's basically me. Bro, why is everyone trying to copy me, man? That was a joke, y'all. See, that's when you're like supposed to laugh and shit. Quinn is a funny little sister, Helen's a great mom, and Jake is a character I enjoyed over time, if I'm being honest. Daria's best friend Jane is probably my favorite character though. I still don't know what the thought process behind this picture was, but man, Jane is great. The fact that Daria and Jane connected almost instantly was nice to watch. She matches Daria's energy almost 100% of the time, and her love for art was a nice touch. Jody's a great character, and I'm pissed off that her spin-off show got canceled. Trent was a funny dude, Mr. D is the only teacher I think is funny, and Upchuck, he's alright. Sometimes he makes me laugh, but that depends on the day. Bro, look at his face, dude. His face reminds me of someone, but I'm not gonna say because I don't know who watches my videos anymore. Oh, right. My favorite episodes from this season were, of course, the first episode of the series titled Estemsters? You know what, fuck it. Because of how great it introduces these characters, and because I love the ending. Pinch Sitter was great, The Big House is another good one, Road Warrior is a sweet episode, and I guess I can include episode 12's The Teaching of Don Jake, but honestly I only like the part where the Morgendorfers eat the berries and they start going insane. And the side plot with Jane and Trent was pretty funny. Now the final episode of season 1 is titled The Misery Chick, and is up there as one of my favorite episodes of the show. Some obnoxious football player, hey don't hate, but I spelled obnoxious wrong in my script, randomly shows up at Lawndale High. While everyone loves him, Jane and Daria find him annoying and jokingly wish for him to die. And seconds later, he actually dies. Oh wait, Tariq uses the FaceTime sound effect. My bad, y'all. The situation sort of creates a conflict between Jane and Daria. Jane is more so disturbed by the football player's death, and Daria, while not happy he's dead, sees no reason to mourn for a guy who was a jerk. Daria is also annoyed by everyone at school coming up to her for advice, because they think because she's quiet and to herself, she's the go-to person when it comes to the topic of death. This is a phenomenal episode, dude. I like what they do with Daria and Jane here. Their friendship feels real and captures the eventual disagreements close friends will have. The show continues this trend later on, but one step at a time. Anyway, this is a solid season. The only episode I didn't enjoy was episode 6 this year's model. This was a pretty uncomfortable watch, not gonna lie. It was at this moment that I realized that I maybe just found my new comfort show. Okay, thank you for that loud ass. Thank you, I can see that. It kept me distracted for 3 days, so I kept going. Holy fuck. Season 1 was solid, and somehow, Season 2 was even better. I'll admit that it took me longer to finish this season, but that doesn't change the fact that most of the episodes here are bangers. Episode 1's Art and Crafts is another one of my favorite episodes. Daria and Jane participate in the contest, but their work is deemed controversial, so Mrs. Lee forces them to join and alters their work without their permission. So Daria and Jane protest by ruining their work. This episode is great and has a nice payoff. Episode 3's Quinn the Brain is another one of my favorite episodes. Quinn writes a shitty poem, that somehow everyone loves except for Daria.
By the way, anything eating away at your soul?
Her writing is bad.
This bothers Daria seeing how she's considered the brain. Now Quinn is taking the spotlight and making Daria practically feel useless. That is not how I wrote that, but I'll go with it. Dude, Jane is such a good friend, man. This is a great episode. The other great episodes we have here are Monster, The New Kid, Gifted, mainly because the ending of the episode, and Ill. There's a few episodes here that I want to go more in depth with, so I have nothing to say.
Lock in.
To keep me from sounding redundant, the next 3 episodes are some of my favorites. Episode 11, See Jane Run, is great. This episode sees Jane trying out for track. She makes a team and gains sort of a reputation. Daria later starts to feel left out, seeing how Jane is always at practice, and when they do hang out, Jane is bothered by other classmates. Daria and Jane argue for a bit because Jane feels Daria is overreacting, and Daria just wants her friend back. This is honestly another phenomenal episode, and a great ending too. Plot-wise, episode 12's Pierce Me is pretty simple. Trent and Daria set out to get Jane a birthday present. That's essentially it, but this is a sweet episode. That screen Daria did legit threw me the fuck off. But all in all, another banger. The season finale episode, Right Where It Hurts, is yet another sweet episode. Daria is tasked to write a short story featuring people she knows. Sounds simple, but every time Daria tries to think of something, it always falls flat. Nearly on the verge of giving up, she consoles her mom for some advice, and we get what's, in my opinion, one of the most wholesome moments in the series. Overall, season 2 is amazing. Even the episodes I didn't mention were great. I love how consistent this season is. This was such a great time. Now, in the typical Timothy Reviews vid, I'll put an intermission here. But nah, I don't really feel like it. Season 3 isn't as good as Season 2 in my opinion, but damn, this is still a great season overall. I'm not sure if this is a Paramount Plus thing, but apparently the first episode of Season 3 is Daria. It's a musical episode, and to be honest, this episode is just fine. Like, the songs aren't bad, but this isn't an episode I revisit. The next episode, Through a Lens Darkly, is yet again one of my favorite episodes. A sweet little episode that goes over feeling comfortable in your own skin, and learning to love your appearance no matter what.
Daria! You hate me.
Episode 4's Death Takes a Holiday is also an oddball. Like, I know Daria is still fiction at the end of the day, but this episode feels so out of place. Anyway, I do have my favorites. Those being The Lost Girls, It Happened One Nut, and Lady Miserables is one of my favorite episodes. It's the small things, honestly. The scene where Helen and Jake try to understand more about Daria by asking Jane is funny to see. Jane even know Daria's height. I don't even know my best friend's height. Rob, I know you're probably watching this. I love you, bro. You know what? Come here, bro. Episode 9's Jake of Hearts is, you guessed it, another one of my favorite episodes. Jake has a heart attack during dinner, causing Jake's mother to come over and take care of him. I think what gets me most about this episode is Daria's reaction to her dad having a heart attack. The thought of nearly losing her dad really took a toll on her, and she couldn't fully recover because of the annoying radio host constantly harassing her. She even calls him out at the end of the episode, which is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. The fact that they don't even say anything and just leave is hilarious. Episode 10, Speed Trap, is another sweet episode where Daria and Quinn bond together, and it's nice to see. Now it's time for the season finale episode, Jane's Edition. Daria and Jane go to Trent's concert, and Jane notices a boy named Tom, who she really likes. Moments later, Jane tells Daria that she's dating Tom, and that makes Daria jealous. Every time Daria sees Tom, she's very dismissive towards him. At the end of the episode, everything seems cool, but you can tell Daria still hasn't moved on. And that's what I loved about this episode. It closes out season 3 perfectly, and leaves the door open for new stories in the next season. Tom plays a pretty big part in the series going forward, and thankfully, this was a pretty good introduction to his character. Season 3 was also pretty solid. Besides the 2 oddball episodes, the season did a good job setting up stuff in the next, while also giving us great character moments. Great season overall. Hey yo, it's Future Tim. I completely forgot to write this in my script, but I wanted to point out the few animation errors that happened in this season. Mainly the ones where you can see the characters' bodies cut off at the bottom of the screen. Mr. D is definitely holding hands with Ghost Dude. Oh my god, what the fuck is in my throat? I wanted to bring this up because a while back, Daria and Jane did these preludes to certain episodes of the series, and every now and again, they'll take a jab at MTV and how little their animation budget was. I tried to do research to see how production was, but I ended up finding stuff about copyright issues. Anyways, that's all I had to say. This clip's funny though.
Jane, you know we can't dance. That would require animation.
God, they're so cheap here. It's a wonder they're letting us move our lips.
Don't give them any ideas.
Season 4 is yet another solid season. I love what they do with Daria as a character, and I can't wait to talk about it. While I do love Season 4, I'm not going to mention every episode, only the important ones. Season 4 opens up strong with Parents' Complaint. Daria is still jealous of Tom, so she distances herself away from Jane, which later starts to hurt Jane's feelings. Daria is given a school project and chooses to work with Jody instead.
I hate everybody.
This decision is what makes this episode work for me. Jody and Daria get into a pretty heated argument later on, causing Daria to reflect on how she's been acting lately. I also love it because it shows that Daria isn't just a know-it-all. She has character flaws too, and that's mainly what the season focuses on. Episode 6's I Loathe the Parade was a perfect setup for the rest of the season. Tom and Daria spend a lot of time together in this episode, leading to Tom realizing that he sees Daria as special. Episode 9's Mart or Darkness has Jane and Tom getting into an argument, hinting that their relationship isn't going to last. Episode 12's Fire has Daria's house being set on fire, and since she doesn't want to share a room with Quinn, she stays over at Jane's house. Throughout the episode, Jane begins to feel jealous because after seeing Tom spend hours in Daria's room, she starts to believe that Daria is trying to steal Tom away from her. Daria is rightfully upset, but after talking to Trent, she realizes that she may like Tom. Now finally we made it to episode 13's Die Die My Darling, which is honestly top 5 material in my opinion. At this point, Jane is still pretty jealous about the whole situation from the last episode. This leads to Jane making out with Tom in front of Daria to make her feel jealous, and Jane and Daria arguing with each other. This situation isn't made any better when Tom and Daria eventually kiss each other. Daria couldn't keep the news to herself and told Jane. Jane is rightfully upset and confronts Tom. I think this scene where Jane and Tom break up is handled perfectly, and it feels realistic. Jane forgives Daria, but you can tell Jane is still not 100% over the situation, and the episode ends with Tom calling Daria. At first, I thought this was the season finale, and I guess it technically is, but a few weeks after episode 13 aired, we got a TV movie titled Is It Fall Yet?, which for some reason isn't available on Paramount Plus. You'd think they'd add an extremely plot-important episode to Paramount Plus, but no! I fucking hate Paramount Plus. This episode takes place a while after the last episode. Tom and Daria are dating, and Jane is still a bit upset. This was a solid movie. I enjoy seeing Daria at a summer job, but just a nitpick, I wish they spent just a bit more time with Daria and that kid. Besides that, I like what I was watching. I enjoyed the scene where Daria and Jane eventually make up. It's not dragged out, they both say what they need to say, and just like that, they're cool again. I love the side plot of Quinn trying to improve her academic field just to get into college. Every student at Lawndale High getting a summer job is fun to watch, and I love seeing Jane being able to move on, and accept that Daria likes Tom. At the end of the special, Daria and Tom make it official, and that's it. This is a great TV movie, a fitting end to an already great season of the show. Season 4 is easily my second favorite season of the show, hands down.
Back when we were still outside, church next door, we couldn't afford the ties.
Oh boy, we're here now. While the first episode of this season wasn't bad, I didn't think it was a great start, and it made me a bit afraid for the rest of the season. But man, I was wrong. Daria really had a solid run. No bad seasons whatsoever. To make this a bit quick, I'll list my favorite episodes. Those are Lucky Strike, because I love the part where Quinn finally admits to everyone that Daria is a sister, Heartburn, and Prizefighter. Episode 12's My Night at Daria's is where Tom accidentally stays late at Daria's house, and Helen jumps to the conclusion and assumes that Daria and Tom had sex. The rumor is spread by Quinn, making Daria the talk of high school, but that was only for a brief moment. However, the situation made Daria think if she was ready for something like that. This leads to her planning to eventually do it with Tom, which she ends up canceling due to all the pressure. I try not to give a plot synopsis sometimes, but it just happens, y'all. No lie, I love how mature this series can get. Daria's reasonings are valid and 100% understandable. I don't know, man. The show knows how to handle serious subject matters, and I love it. Coincidentally, the next episode also handles the serious topic, and is no joke my favorite episode of the entire series. Daria gets a sense of deja vu after seeing the empty refrigerator box. Seeing that box causes Daria to ask questions about stuff she remembers as a child. More specifically, a time where she overheard her parents arguing about her. Throughout this episode, Daria begins to ask more questions and eventually gets the answers from her parents. This episode blew my mind, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This episode handles the subject of childhood trauma extremely well. In this scene where Daria is drenched from the rain and sitting in the diner, she sees Jane pull up and doesn't even give her a chance to come in to sit down. She just walks up and hugs Jane immediately. When I saw this scene, I kid you not, I almost teared up. This is the only episode of the show I watched twice back to back. I fucking love this one. This would have been a good way to end the series, but there was one more TV movie called Is It College Yet? Once again, not available on Paramount Plus. I had to buy both of these movies on YouTube, dude. This special is exactly how it sounds. High school is almost over, and Daria, Jane, and Tom all try to apply for colleges. There's a bunch of side plots in this movie. Quinn getting a job, Jody wanting to go to a different college, Kevin failing high school, that's fucking insane, and Jane debating if she wants to go to college or not. While I prefer Is It Fall more, this was a great finale. Daria and Tom do unfortunately break up, but it's handled in such a mature way. Quinn and her friends put an end to the fashion club, Jody gets into the college she wants, Jane gets into college, and thankfully, her school is close to Daria. I love it when a show can just wrap up properly without leaving any loose ends. I watched these two characters grow so much that I admittedly did not know how to feel. I've finished shows before, and I've binge watched entire series before, but this one felt different. I love seeing characters move on to better things, and I love the end credits. But once the end credits were over, I was overwhelmingly sad as shit again. Oh yeah, I guess I gotta explain the title of this video now, huh? So about 2 months ago, I believe, I had a bad mental breakdown. I thought I had everything under control, made a tweet about it to let y'all know what's good. Then I had another mental breakdown. I'm not outing anyone or name dropping anybody because honestly, I hurt myself. After all, I just couldn't move on from the situation. As I was trying to move on from the breakdowns I had, I started watching Daria. It went from just being a show I had on in the background to being something I just couldn't stop watching, honestly. I'm not saying the show saved my life or changed it or no silly shit like that, but it was a show I needed to help move on. When I was sad as shit, I watched Daria to make me feel better. Watching the show kept me off my phone for the most part, because I tend to post a lot on my story when I feel upset. And I didn't feel the need to post anything on Instagram or Twitter. The 2 videos I uploaded this year performed poorly, and I didn't even care to promote them properly. I didn't notice how much I let the situation eat me alive until I realized how much time I was spending on my phone weeks before I started watching the show. I was constantly picking it up, waiting for something to happen, and it was nothing. I spent such an unhealthy amount of time on my phone. So much so that I lost so much fucking sleep. And when I did sleep, I was dreaming about being on my phone. I kid you not. Sorry, I'm just rambling, y'all. My point is, Daria helped me ignore the real world temporarily. Those moments where I'm crying because I can't let go of what just happened, I just put the show on and I feel a little better. I love how media can be used to cope with certain things, man. Daria didn't change my life or anything, but it helped me cope. And that's something I just can't forget. Yeah, sorry to get all sappy near the end, but honestly, writing how I feel made me feel better. Yo, this video took so long to finish that Joshua fucking finished the background before I even finished this video, so the whole opening joke makes no sense now. But anyways, I came here to let you guys know that my upload schedule sucks, and it will continue to suck because I am working on a TV pilot right now. It's not animated, it's live action, and I have nothing else to show off except the name. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go to bed, y'all.
Listen.